Hello, my dear Arthur and all my peeps. How are you on this Sunday, the last day of November? There are 25 days till Christmas. Oh my gosh. I've got a nice chili cooking. The house smells great. And I'm going to sing to you today, Hark, the Herald Angel Sing. And you will see why when you find out about our story today. So are you ready? Come sing with me. Hark, the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful all ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies. With angelic host proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Hark, the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Beautiful angels. And our story takes place originally in 1946 and was redone in 1960 when this book cost 29 cents. Oh my gosh. It is The Littlest Angel. I'm finding all these stories from when I was a little girl. The Littlest Angel was exactly 4 years, 6 months, 5 days, 7 hours, and 42 minutes of age when he presented himself to the gatekeeper and waited for admittance to heaven. The littlest angel tried to pretend that he wasn't at all afraid, but his lower lip trembled, and a tear ran down to the very tip end of his small freckled nose. He also sniffed, a very most unangelic sound, which so unnerved the good gatekeeper that he did something that he had never done before in all eternity. He made an ink blot on the page. From that moment on, the heavenly peace was never quite the same, and the littlest angel soon became the despair of all the heavenly host. His shrill, ear-splitting whistle resounded at all hours throughout the golden streets, and he sang off-key at the singing practice of the heavenly host. And being so small that it seemed to take him just twice as long as anyone else to get to nightly prayers, the littlest angel always arrived late and was always knocking everyone's wings askew as he darted to his place. It was first whispered among the seraphim and the cherubim, and then said aloud amongst the angels and archangels, that he didn't even look like an angel. And they were all quite correct. He didn't. His halo was permanently tarnished where he held onto it when he ran, and he was always running. Even when he stood still, it was always slipping down over his right eye, or over his left eye, or else, just for pure meanness, slipping off the back of his head and rolling away down some golden street just so he'd have to chase after it. Yes, it must be here recorded that his wings were neither useful nor ornamental. All paradise held its breath when the littlest angel perched himself like a fledgling sparrow on the very edge of a golden cloud and prepared to take off. He would teeter this way and that way, But after much coaxing and a few false starts, he would shut both of his eyes, hold his freckled nose, count up to 303, and then hurl himself slowly into space. However, owing to the regrettable fact that he always forgot to move his wings, the littlest angel always fell head over halo. It was also reported and never denied that whenever he was nervous, which was most of the time, he bit his wingtips. Now, anyone can easily understand why the littlest angel would sooner or later have to be disciplined. And so, on an eternal day of an eternal month in the year eternal, he was directed to present his small self before an angel of the peace. The littlest angel combed his hair, dusted his wings, and scrambled into an almost clean robe, and then, with a heavy heart, trudged his way to the place of judgment. He removed his halo and breathed upon it heavily, then polished it upon his robe and tiptoed in. The understanding angel looked down at the small culprit. "So, you're the one who's been making heaven so unheavenly," he chuckled. "Come here, cherubim, and tell me all about it." Suddenly, almost before he knew it, the littlest angel was perched in the lap of the understanding angel and was explaining how very difficult it was for a boy who suddenly finds himself an angel. Yes, he'd swung 3 times on the golden gates, but that was just for something to do. That was the whole trouble. There wasn't anything for a small angel to do, and he was very homesick. Oh, not that paradise wasn't beautiful, but the earth was beautiful too. Wasn't it created by God himself? Why, there were trees to climb, and brooks to fish, and caves to play at pirate chief, the swimming hole, and sun, and rain, and dark, and dawn, and thick brown dust, so soft and warm beneath their feet. The understanding angel smiled, and in his eyes was a long-forgotten memory of another small boy in a long ago. Then he asked the littlest angel what would make him most happy in paradise. The cherubim thought for a moment. "There's a box. I left it under my bed back home. If only I could have that," he whispered in his ear. The understanding angel nodded his head. "You shall have it," he promised. And a fleet-winged heavenly messenger was instantly dispatched to bring the box to paradise. Then it came to pass that Jesus, the Son of God, was to be born, and as the glorious tidings spread throughout paradise, all the angels rejoiced. The angels and archangels, the seraphim and cherubim, the gatekeeper, the wing maker, yes, and even the halo smith put aside their usual tasks to prepare their gifts for the blessed infant. All but the littlest angel. He sat down on the golden stairs and waited for inspiration. The time of the miracle was very close at hand when the littlest angel at last decided on a gift. Then, on that day of days, he proudly brought it from its hiding place behind a cloud and humbly, with downcast eyes, placed it before the throne of God. It was only a small, rough, unsightly box, but inside were all those wonderful things that even a child of God would treasure. a small, rough, unsightly box lying among all those other glorious gifts from all the angels of paradise. Gifts of such rare and breathless beauty that heaven and all the universe were lighted by the mere reflection of their glory. And when the littlest angel saw this, he suddenly wished he might reclaim his shabby gift. It was ugly. It was worthless. If only he could hide it away from the sight of God before it was even noticed. But it was too late. The hand of God moved slowly all over the bright array of shining gifts, then paused, then dropped, then came to rest on the lowly gift of the littlest angel. The littlest angel trembled as the box was opened, and there before the eyes of God and all his heavenly host was what he offered to the Christ child. And what was his gift to the blessed infant? Well, there was a butterfly with golden wings captured one bright summer day, a sky blue egg from a bird's nest, and 2 white stones found on a muddy riverbank where he and his friends had played like small brown beavers. At the very bottom of the box was a limp, tooth-marked leather strap, once worn as a collar by his dog. The littlest angel wept hot, bitter tears, for now he knew that instead of honoring the Son of God, he had been most blasphemous. Why had he ever thought the box was so wonderful? Why had he dreamed that such utterly useless things would be loved by the blessed infant? In frantic terror, he turned to run and hide from the divine wrath of the Heavenly Father. But he stumbled, and he fell to the very foot of the heavenly throne. There was a dreadful silence in the celestial city, a sobbing, a silence, complete and undisturbed save for the heartbroken sobbing of the littlest angel. Then, suddenly, the voice of God, like divine music, rose and swelled through paradise. And the voice of God spoke, saying, "Of all the gifts of all the angels, I find that this small box pleases me most. Its contents are of the earth and of men, and my son is born to be king of both. These are the things my son too will know and love and cherish, and then leave behind him when his task is done. I accept this gift in the name of the child, Jesus, born of Mary this night in Bethlehem." There was a breathless pause. And then the rough, unsightly box of the littlest angel began to glow. The light became a brilliant, radiant brilliance that blinded the eyes of all the angels. None but the littlest angel saw it rise from its place before the throne of God, and only he watched as it shed its clear, white, beckoning light over a stable where the child was born. There it shone on that night of miracles, and its light was reflected down to the centuries, deep in the heart of all mankind. Yet, earthly eyes, blinded too by its splendor, could never know that the lovely gift of the littlest angel was what all men would call forever the shining star of Bethlehem. And that is the end of our story. There's Bethlehem and the star. Hope you enjoyed. See you tomorrow. Love you all. Bye.